Have you ever crossed a Sagittarius? If so, you've made a mistake that the universe won't let you forget. These free spirits are ruled by fire, truth, and an unshakable sense of independence. Today, we're diving into 20 reasons why you should never hurt a Sagittarius. Get ready, because the universe has a way of bringing balance, and when it does, it doesn't whisper, it burns. Let's uncover why messing with a Sagittarius could change your life forever. As we embark on this journey, take a moment to reflect on your own interactions with people, especially those with this adventurous, independent, and fiery spirit. Do you have a Sagittarius in your life? Or maybe you've encountered one and didn't realize the consequences of your actions. Well, let's find out why hurting them is not something the universe will let slide. Reason number 20. They speak their truth without holding back. Sagittarians are known for their honesty. They don't mince words or hide their feelings. If you hurt them, they will tell you exactly what they think. No sugarcoating, no holding back. This brutal honesty isn't meant to be hurtful, but it's a reflection of their nature. If they feel betrayed, you will know. And trust me, their words cut deeper than any revenge. I remember a time when I was in a toxic friendship. The moment I lied or betrayed this Sagittarius friend, I felt the weight of her words. She didn't yell. She didn't cry. She simply said exactly what I needed to hear, and that was enough. I was left speechless, humbled by the raw truth she delivered. The beauty of a Sagittarius lies in their ability to be unapologetically honest, and karma loves them for it. When you hurt a Sagittarius, don't expect to walk away untouched. You'll feel the sting of their words, and when karma joins in, the truth will echo far beyond your expectations. Reason number 19. They shut you out emotionally forever. Once a Sagittarius feels betrayed, that's it. You lose access to their heart completely, and you'll never even know when it happens. One day, you might feel like everything's fine, and the next, you'll feel like they're a million miles away, even though they're standing right next to you. I've experienced this myself. There was a time when I thought I could make amends with a Sagittarius friend, but once I lost her trust, that was the end of it. She didn't make a scene. She didn't yell or demand answers. She simply stopped emotionally investing in our friendship. It's like she vanished from my world, and the silence she left behind was deafening. Karma, in this case, make sure you feel the absence. You might try to chase after them, but it'll be like chasing the wind. Once a Sagittarius emotionally disconnects, it's over. You won't get the closure you crave, and that's part of the karmic lesson. If you hurt them, you'll learn what it feels like to be emotionally erased, and it's not something easily forgotten. Reason number 18. Their confidence is unshakable. Sagittarians are incredibly confident. They don't rely on others for validation. Their self-worth comes from within, and that's what makes them so unstoppable. So when you try to hurt them with words or actions, don't expect to tear them down. They'll just rise higher. I once had someone try to belittle a Sagittarius I knew, and instead of them sinking into self-doubt, they became even more confident. They walked away, held their head high, and showed the world they didn't need anyone's approval. It was like watching a fire get stronger the more you tried to extinguish it. This is where karma steps in. When you try to break them, you only empower them. They glow even brighter. Their confidence becomes their shield, and karma amplifies that power. So, if you want to avoid feeling the heat of their fire, don't try to tear down their confidence. Because when you do, it's like adding fuel to their flames. Reason number 17. They do not need you. One of the most painful things about a Sagittarius is their independence. They don't cling to anyone, and they certainly don't beg for attention or love. If you hurt them, they won't waste their time on you. They'll walk away, and they won't look back. I've seen this firsthand, how a Sagittarius can cut off someone with ease. They won't dwell on the pain or spend time seeking revenge. Instead, they'll move on, leaving you behind. And karma, well, it will make sure you feel that absence deeply. The joy, the passion, the adventure they once brought into your life will suddenly vanish, and you'll be left in the silence of their exit. This is when karma works its magic. The universe rewards those who live authentically and with truth, and when a Sagittarius removes themselves from your life, it's a reflection of what you gave. They move on, thriving and shining without you, and you'll regret losing someone who was never meant to be tied down. Reason number 16. They learn fast, so your tricks won't work twice. Sagittarians are incredibly quick learners. They don't fall for the same trick twice. If you hurt them once, maybe you can get away with it. But try it again, and you'll find that they've already learned from the experience and evolved. They remember the pain, but they use it as armor. There's a personal lesson I learned when I tried to take advantage of a Sagittarius. I thought I could get away with a small lie, but when I tried it again, they were already 10 steps ahead of me. They didn't confront me. They didn't make a scene. They simply stopped engaging with me. It was a wake-up call. I had underestimated them, and karma made sure I would remember that lesson forever. This is the beauty of a Sagittarius. They grow from their pain, and the universe rewards them for it. So, if you think you can repeat your mistakes, think again. They evolve with lightning speed. And when karma steps in, it's you who will be left behind, struggling to catch up to a version of them that no longer needs or wants you. Reason number 15. They have endless options and none include you after the hurt. Sagittarians are never stuck. They don't cling to the past or dwell on what no longer serves them. If you hurt them, they won't waste their time trying to mend things. They'll move on quickly, leaving you behind. It's a painful reality for anyone who has ever mistreated them. I had a friend who took a Sagittarius for granted, thinking they would always be there. But when betrayal happened, that Sagittarius didn't look back. They found new connections, new adventures, and new opportunities. Meanwhile, my friend was left watching as their life continued without them. It was like seeing someone move on effortlessly while you're still stuck in the same place. Karma, in this case, works silently. When you hurt a Sagittarius, the universe opens up a world of better options for them while leaving you to feel the sting of what you lost. If you don't want to feel replaceable, don't treat them like they're dispensable. Once they're done, they move forward, and there's no going back. Reason number 14. They have a selective memory and you won't be in it for long. Sagittarians don't carry emotional baggage. They're not the type to hold grudges or dwell on the past. Once they've been hurt, they process it, release it, and move on. And when they do, you're erased from their memory. I had an encounter where I tried to reconnect with a Sagittarius after a betrayal, only to realize that they had already forgotten the entire incident. To them, it was in the past, and they were living fully in the present. It was as if I had never existed in their world. That was when I understood how powerful their ability to forgive and forget truly is. Karma plays its part here by making sure you experience the consequences of being forgotten. While the Sagittarius moves on, you'll be left clinging to memories that no longer matter to them. Their ability to let go is a gift, but when you're on the receiving end of their emotional release, it's a karmic lesson you won't forget. Reason number 13. They are fire, and they burn everything when they're hurt. Sagittarians are ruled by fire, and when that fire is provoked, it doesn't just simmer, it burns. When you hurt them, don't expect them to suffer quietly. They will burn bridges, cut ties, and leave everything in their wake. But they won't lash out in blind anger. They will strike with truth, and that's what makes their fire so powerful. I once saw a Sagittarius friend who had been deeply hurt completely transform. They didn't cry or beg for attention. They simply rose from the ashes of the situation, stronger, more focused, and ready to leave behind everything that had tried to break them. And as they rose, karma was there, pushing them to shine brighter than ever before. If you try to hurt a Sagittarius, you will awaken a fire that burns through everything fake, everything toxic. Karma will amplify their strength, and you'll be left watching as they rise from the ashes, stronger than before. So, don't test their limits. When a Sagittarius turns into fire, they don't just walk away, they leave a trail of smoke that will haunt you. Reason number 12. They avoid drama but will own the stage if you push them. Sagittarians hate drama. They crave peace, honesty, and freedom. But if you push them too far, you'll see a side of them that you never expected. They will stop being the observer and become the main act. When they speak out, everyone will listen, and your lies and manipulations will unravel in front of everyone. I remember witnessing a situation where a Sagittarius friend was pushed to the limit. They didn't want drama, but once they reached their breaking point, they stood up, spoke their truth, and the room fell silent. Everyone who had tried to silence them suddenly saw the consequences of their actions. Karma loves Sagittarius for this reason. The universe backs them up, making sure their truth is heard loud and clear. So, if you try to hurt them, don't expect them to quietly suffer. They will expose the truth, and you'll be left facing the consequences of your actions. Drama will follow, but not because of them. It'll be because of what you tried to hide. Reason number 11. They know their worth, and karma backs their power. Sagittarians don't doubt their value. They know exactly who they are, and they don't need external validation. When you try to belittle them, make them feel small, or take them for granted, you will quickly learn that they won't crumble. Instead, they'll rise. And here's where karma comes in. The more you try to tear them down, the higher they'll rise. I've watched this happen in real life. I once witnessed someone try to make a Sagittarius feel inferior. They spoke down to them, belittled their efforts, and tried to impose their own standards. But instead of breaking, the Sagittarius rose above it, confidently walking away, leaving the negative person in the dust. It was clear that their confidence wasn't dependent on anyone else's approval. It was built from within. Karma steps in, amplifying their power and turning your cruelty into fuel for their greatness. If you think you can hurt them and watch them fall, you're mistaken. Sagittarius doesn't need anyone's permission to succeed. And when karma gets involved, it lifts them higher while you're left to face the fallout. Reason number 10, they don't seek revenge, but life delivers it and they watch silently. Sagittarians don't waste time plotting revenge. They believe in universal justice, and when you hurt them, they trust that life will handle it. You might think you got away with it, but then you'll notice small shifts in your life. Opportunities disappear. Your true character gets exposed. People start seeing you for who you really are. I had a personal experience with this when I hurt a Sagittarius friend years ago. Instead of confronting me, they simply let go. I thought I had escaped without any consequences, but over time, I began to notice how things started to fall apart for me. People I once trusted started turning away. Opportunities one had hoped for seemed to slip through my fingers, and I realized that karma was working silently in the background. My actions had consequences, even if I couldn't see them immediately. Sagittarians trust the universe to deliver justice, and trust me, it never fails them. While they move on with their life, karma takes care of the rest, making sure you feel the weight of your actions without them ever lifting a finger. So if you think you can hurt a Sagittarius without consequences, think again. Life has a way of delivering justice when they let go. Reason number 9, they crave freedom, and if you try to control them, you'll lose them forever. Sagittarians live for freedom. It's not just a preference, it's a necessity. They need movement, independence, and the ability to make their own choices. If you try to control them, restrict their freedom, or clip their wings, you won't just frustrate them, you'll lose them for good. I once saw a Sagittarius trapped in a controlling relationship, and the moment they felt caged, they broke free. There was no drama, no confrontation, just silence. And that silence? It was the loudest thing I've ever heard. The person who tried to control them was left wondering where everything went wrong, but the Sagittarius had already moved on, seeking the freedom they so desperately needed. Karma doesn't scream. It simply lets you feel the absence of someone who thrives on freedom. If you want to keep a Sagittarius in your life, don't try to control them. Let them be who they are, and they'll thrive with you. But try to clip their wings, and you'll soon be left facing the consequences of your actions as they soar away into their new life. Reason number 8, they're brutally honest, and betrayal will only bring you their raw truth. Sagittarians don't hold back when it comes to truth. If you betray them, you won't get passive aggression or a cold shoulder. No, they'll give you their raw, unfiltered truth, and it will hit you like a ton of bricks. They don't sugarcoat things. They'll tell you exactly how you made them feel, and that truth will stick with you long after they've gone. I've experienced this firsthand. After betraying a Sagittarius, I was hit with a brutal dose of reality. They didn't spare my feelings. They didn't dance around the issue. Instead, they told me exactly what I had done wrong, and those words still echo in my mind. The truth they spoke was a gift, but it was also the hardest lesson I had to learn. That's karma in action. You'll face your own actions head on, and it won't be pleasant. If you can't handle the truth, don't betray a Sagittarius. They will not stay silent, and karma will make sure you hear their words loud and clear long after the situation has passed. Reason number 7, they're unpredictable, and that's what hurts the most when they leave. Sagittarians are wild cards. You never really know what to expect from them. They can be fun and spontaneous one moment, and then completely distant the next. That unpredictability is part of their magic. But when you hurt them, you'll never see it coming. They'll vanish without a word, and that absence will hurt more than anything else. I've seen this happen too. After a betrayal, the Sagittarius didn't scream, didn't demand answers. They simply disappeared from my life. And that's the hardest thing to accept, being left with no explanation, no closure, just a sudden absence that leaves you questioning everything. Karma works in the background, teaching you the value of what you had. When you push a Sagittarius too far, they will vanish, and you will be left with the consequences of your actions. You'll wonder why they disappeared, and the answer is simple. They don't owe you anything, and they've moved on, leaving you to face the emptiness of your own making. Reason number 6, their pure joy, lose them, and you lose the spark in your life. Sagittarians bring light wherever they go. Their energy, laughter, and enthusiasm are infectious. They have a way of lighting up any room and making everything feel more vibrant. But when you hurt them, and they walk away, the emptiness you feel in their absence is almost unbearable. I remember a time when I let a Sagittarius down. They brought so much joy into my life, and when they left, I realized how much they had filled my world with color. Everything felt dimmer. Days seemed heavier. Conversations didn't have the same spark. It was clear to me that losing a Sagittarius isn't just about losing a person, it's about losing the very essence of joy they bring. Karma doesn't yell or scream. It's in the quiet absence, the dullness that follows when someone so full of life is gone. If you ever find yourself with a Sagittarius, protect their joy. Because once they leave, you'll understand the karmic price of losing the spark they brought into your world. And trust me, it's a lesson you won't forget. Reason number 5, they shine on their own, even without you. There's still light. Sagittarians don't need anyone to shine. Their light comes from within, and it's impossible to dim. They don't rely on others for validation. They're self-sufficient, independent, and incredibly strong. So when you hurt them, don't expect them to crumble. Instead, they'll rise even higher. I've seen this happen many times. A Sagittarius friend of mine went through a difficult breakup, and instead of fading into the background, they became even more radiant. They used their pain as fuel to rise above it, thriving in ways I never imagined. And karma, as always, supported their ascent. This is the magic of a Sagittarius. No matter what life throws at them, they'll keep shining. And when you hurt them, that light will only burn brighter. Karma ensures that their light will never be extinguished, and when they rise, you'll be left watching from the sidelines, realizing you were never the reason for their glow. Reason number 4, they have a vision. If you hurt them, they'll use it to grow. Sagittarians are forward thinkers. They live with a vision, always looking to the future, building, growing, and evolving. They don't dwell in the past. When you hurt them, they don't waste time wallowing in pain. They turn that pain into growth. They use their scars as stepping stones, and they build an even stronger foundation for their future. I had a close friend who faced a betrayal from someone they trusted. Instead of letting it break them, they used it as an opportunity to grow stronger. They channeled their energy into their passion and career, and within months, they had transformed their life in ways they never thought possible. And karma, once again, worked in their favor, lifting them to new heights as they evolved. The lesson here is clear. When you hurt a Sagittarius, you're only feeding their vision. You may think you've broken them, but what you've really done is fueled their drive to succeed. They don't need you to validate their dreams. They don't need anyone's support. Their vision is their protection, and karma backs them up. Reason number 3, they connect fast. You won't be irreplaceable. Sagittarians have a unique ability to connect with people. They form deep bonds quickly, and when they open their heart, they give it all. But here's the thing. When you hurt them, they won't spend years trying to fix what's broken. They will simply move on, and before you know it, they'll be creating new connections with ease. I've seen this happen too. After a Sagittarius was hurt, they didn't dwell on the betrayal. They didn't cry for days or wallow in sadness. Instead, they met new people, found new love, and formed new friendships. Meanwhile, the person who hurt them was left wondering where they went wrong, feeling like they had been replaced. Karma works here by showing you exactly what you lost. You might think you were special to them, but once you've hurt a Sagittarius, you become just another person in their past. They don't need to dwell in the past because they know that life is full of opportunities. So, if you ever have a Sagittarius in your life, remember this, treat them well, because once you hurt them, you'll be quickly replaced. Reason number 2, they know when to cut ties, and when they do, it's final. Sagittarians are patient, but they don't have time for people who don't value them. They'll give you chances, they'll communicate, and they'll try to understand. But once they see that you've crossed a line, they'll cut ties without hesitation. And when they do, it's permanent. No second chances. No reopening old doors. I've seen people try to re-enter a Sagittarius's life after they've been hurt. But once the Sagittarius has made up their mind, that door is closed for good. The worst part is that it's done silently. No drama, no explanation, just a quiet, final exit. And that's when karma kicks in. You'll try to reach out, but your messages will go unanswered. You'll see glimpses of their life online, but you'll never be part of it again. That absence? It's karma reminding you of what you lost. Because when a Sagittarius decides they're done, there's no going back. Reason number 1, they don't hold grudges, but you'll never get the same place again. Sagittarians have a big heart, and they don't waste time clinging to anger or resentment. They are not the type to spend years plotting revenge. They forgive, but here's the catch. Just because they forgive you doesn't mean they forget. Once you betrayed them, you'll never get the same version of them back. I learned this lesson the hard way. After hurting a Sagittarius friend, I thought that time would heal everything. I expected them to go back to the way they were, to trust me again, to give me a chance to make things right. But what I didn't realize was that their forgiveness didn't mean they would open their heart to me the same way they did before. That door was closed, and no amount of apologies could reopen it. Karma comes in here because the version of the Sagittarius you once knew is gone. You'll feel the difference. They'll be kind, they'll be polite, but they'll never trust you the same way again. That's the real punishment, realizing that the connection you had has been erased. And once they've let go, there's no rewind button. You'll have to live with the consequences of losing someone who once loved and trusted you unconditionally. If you enjoyed this video and found the insights about Sagittarius helpful, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the Path to Buddhist Wisdom. We dive deep into the mysteries of the zodiac, personal growth, and powerful life lessons that the universe has to offer. By subscribing, you'll join a community of curious minds and seekers of wisdom. Click the bell icon to be notified every time we release new content. I'd love to hear your thoughts and experiences, so feel free to share your comments below. What's your zodiac sign? And have you ever crossed a Sagittarius? Let's start a conversation. Thank you for watching, and remember, life is a journey, and the wisdom you seek is already within you.